I don't know about you, but for me, a great game is one that hooks me within the first hour. You know that feeling? When you sit down to play thinking you'll just check it out for a bit and suddenly hours have passed and you're completely immersed. Some games just have that magic. So today, I'm bringing you 20 incredible single-player games that will have you obsessed right from the start. Let's jump in. The moment you step into a Plague Tale Innocence, you're thrust into a brutal, plague-ridden medieval world where survival is anything but guaranteed. You play as Amicia, a young noble forced to flee with her little brother Hugo after their home is attacked by the Inquisition. Within the first hour, you'll experience heartbreak, tension, and an overwhelming sense of dread as you navigate through crumbling villages, avoid merciless soldiers, and encounter the game's terrifyingly unique enemy, swarms of flesh-eating rats that engulf everything in their path. The atmospheric storytelling grips you immediately, blending stealth, puzzle-solving, and emotionally charged moments that make it impossible to put down. Every second builds the tension, making you feel the weight of Amicia's responsibility while unraveling the dark mysteries surrounding Hugo's condition. Before you know it, an hour has passed, and you're fully immersed in a world where danger lurks around every corner, making each encounter feel desperate and intense. If you love story-driven experiences that grip you emotionally and refuse to let go, A Plague Tale, Innocence will have you hooked from the start.
We'll still have light. But then what? We'll find something. I don't understand why there are so many of them. Fire. We need some fire. The wood will burn quickly. We have to hurry.
Imagine walking into an ordinary-looking government building only to realize it's anything but normal. This is the world of Control. Within the first hour, you'll step into the shoes of Jessie Faden, a woman searching for answers about her past, only to stumble into a reality-warping nightmare inside the Federal Bureau of Control. The game wastes no time sucking you into its mysterious, eerie world where rooms shift, objects defy the laws of physics, and an otherworldly force known as the Hiss corrupts everything it touches. You'll quickly go from being an outsider to wielding incredible telekinetic abilities, letting you hurl objects, levitate, and manipulate reality in ways that feel incredibly satisfying. The sheer sense of discovery is intoxicating, as you unlock secrets hidden deep within the Bureau, encounter cryptic messages, and battle-possessed agents with your transforming supernatural weapon. With its mind-bending visuals, cryptic storytelling, and adrenaline-pumping combat, Control doesn't just hook you. It pulls you down the rabbit hole, and once you start, you won't want to leave this bizarre, ever-shifting nightmare. If a game can make you feel like a legendary warrior within an hour, it's Ghost of Tsushima. From the breathtaking opening battle against the Mongol invaders to the emotional journey of a samurai fighting to protect his homeland, this game instantly immerses you in its stunning open world. You step into the role of Jin Sakai, a noble samurai whose honor is shattered when his people are massacred, forcing him to adopt stealthier, deadlier tactics to save them. The game's first hour is packed with cinematic storytelling, intense sword duels, and an introduction to one of the most fluid and satisfying combat systems in gaming. You'll learn how to face enemies head-on in elegant samurai standoffs or use stealth and cunning to take down foes like a ghost in the night. But what truly makes this game addictive from the start is its world. Lush fields, misty mountains, and villages teeming with life make every moment feel like a living painting. Before you know it, you'll be wandering off the beaten path, drawn in by shrines, duels, and haiku spots that make this world impossible to leave. If you love open-world adventures that combine history, action, and beauty, Ghost of Tsushima will steal your time before you even realize it. Adrenaline, speed, and lightning-fast reflexes, that's what Ghostrunner 2 delivers in its very first hour. The game throws you straight into its cyberpunk dystopia, where you play as an enhanced warrior equipped with a razor-sharp katana and superhuman agility. You won't get a slow build-up here. Within minutes, you're wall-running, dashing, and slicing through enemies in a high-speed ballet of destruction. The game's parkour mechanics are unbelievably fluid, making every encounter feel like a puzzle of movement and precision. One wrong step means death, but the instant respawns keep the action non-stop, making failure feel like a lesson rather than a punishment. As you progress through the first hour, you'll face ruthless enemies, upgrade your abilities, and discover the game's intense cyberpunk narrative where survival depends on your skill. The synth-heavy soundtrack, neon-lit skyscrapers, and relentless action will put you in a flow state, making it nearly impossible to put the controller down. Ghostrunner 2 isn't just a game, it's an experience that keeps you in the zone, hooking you with its perfect blend of speed and skill-based combat.
Your U-chip. Once he gets too far from you, he's gone. Don't lose the signal.
Where's he going?
Hard to tell. Stay on him, and we might be able to extrapolate his destination.
How is he so fast?
Must have gone a ride of his own.
There are good game openings, and then there's God of War 2018, a masterclass in storytelling, combat, and world building. The first hour sets the tone for an emotional and action-packed journey as you take control of Kratos, now older and more burdened, guiding his son Atreus through a world of Norse mythology. But before you even get the chance to settle in, the game hits you with one of the most iconic boss fights in gaming history, the battle against the Stranger. It's brutal, cinematic, and a perfect showcase of the game's intense combat system, where every axe swing and shield block feels weighty and satisfying. The Leviathan axe itself is an addiction. You'll throw it, recall it, and cleave through enemies like a true god of war. But it's not just the action that keeps you playing. The dynamic between Kratos and Atreus instantly pulls you in, setting the stage for a deeply emotional father-son story that feels as powerful as the combat itself. From its opening moments to the breathtaking world you explore, God of War 2018 is an unforgettable experience that demands your attention from the first hour and never lets go. Gris is not just a game, it's an emotional journey through loss, healing, and self-discovery. The first hour is a mesmerizing experience where you control a young girl lost in a world of shifting colors and breathtaking watercolor landscapes. There's no dialogue, no combat, just pure visual storytelling and a stunning soundtrack that pulls you into its dreamlike atmosphere. The game immediately introduces its central mechanic. As you progress, Gris gains new abilities that reflect her emotional growth, like turning into stone to withstand strong winds or gliding gracefully through the air. But what truly makes this game impossible to put down is how every frame feels like a living work of art. The way colors return to the world, the subtle animations, and the delicate sound design make you feel as though you're playing through a moving painting. And with each puzzle, each platforming section, you're not just progressing in the game. You're progressing in an emotional, almost meditative experience that's impossible to step away from. If you love games that tell powerful stories without a single word, Gris will capture you from the very first moment. Gylt instantly hooks you with its unsettling atmosphere and gripping mystery. You play as Sally, a young girl searching for her missing cousin in an eerie, abandoned town twisted by supernatural horrors. The first hour feels like stepping into a dark fairy tale. You're armed with only a flashlight, sneaking through dimly lit hallways and avoiding the shadowy creatures that stalk you from the darkness. The game's psychological horror isn't about jump scares. It's about the creeping tension, the unsettling sound design, and the way the world feels just a little too warped, too empty. As you explore, you'll uncover pieces of the town's tragic past, solving puzzles and slowly unraveling the mystery behind its haunting presence. The stealth mechanics, eerie visuals, and emotional storytelling all come together to create a game that feels like a cross between Silent Hill and a dark children's storybook. Once you step into Gylt's shadowy world, the need to push forward, to find answers, to escape the nightmares, will keep you playing long past the first hour.
God.
There are few games that pull you into a character's mind quite like Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. From the very first moment, you don't just play as Senua. You experience her world through her eyes, her fears, her delusions. The game immediately makes an impact with its binaural audio design, surrounding you with the whispering voices inside Senua's head, making you feel as if you're trapped within her psyche. The first hour is a haunting blend of atmospheric exploration, puzzle solving, and intense combat, all wrapped in a deeply psychological narrative about loss, trauma, and psychosis. The swordplay is brutal and weighty, each swing and block carrying a desperate intensity as Senua fights for survival against monstrous visions. But what keeps you playing isn't just the action. It's the way the game immerses you in its world of Norse mythology and psychological horror, making every step forward feel like a descent deeper into madness. Hellblade isn't just a game. It's an experience that lingers in your mind long after you've turned it off, and from the first hour, you won't want to stop.
End it! No! Near the end! He's gone!
Mad Max wastes no time dropping you into the lawless, sun-scorched wasteland where every fight is a desperate struggle for survival. Within the first hour, you'll be hunted, stranded, and left to fend for yourself in a brutal world where gasoline, water, and bullets are worth more than gold. But what makes the game so immediately addictive is its raw, visceral combat, both on foot and behind the wheel. The melee combat is pure, brutal brawling, with every punch, kick, and counter feeling like it has real impact. Then there's the vehicular combat, one of the game's true highlights, where you'll be chasing down warbands, ramming enemies off cliffs, and using a harpoon to rip apart enemy vehicles. The sheer sense of freedom in the open world, combined with the constant threat of raiders and scavengers, makes every encounter feel like a fight for survival. The first hour introduces you to this beautifully chaotic world, and once you start upgrading your car, customizing your gear, and tearing through sandstorms, there's no turning back. Mad Max is a wasteland adventure that grips you with its intensity and refuses to let go.
Run! Get it!
Ori and the Will of the Wisps is the kind of game that captures your heart within minutes. From its beautifully animated introduction to its emotional storytelling, everything about the first hour feels magical. You play as Ori, a small but courageous spirit navigating through a breathtakingly detailed world filled with towering forests, glowing caves, and ancient ruins. The game introduces its fluid platforming mechanics, letting you dash, jump, and glide with an almost hypnotic grace. And then there's the combat, fast, precise, and incredibly satisfying, with Ori wielding different weapons and abilities to fight off creatures lurking in the dark. But what truly grips you is the emotional weight of the story, with themes of loss, friendship, and perseverance woven into every moment. The world itself feels alive, full of hidden secrets and challenges that beg you to explore just a little further. Every glowing leaf, every haunting melody, every perfectly timed jump makes you completely lose track of time. Once you start Ori and the Will of the Wisps, you won't want to stop, not until you've seen every corner of its mesmerizing world.
Oh, you're のどんなおのみいらえざうじ姉ぬぐさ
Prey wastes no time throwing you into a psychological sci-fi nightmare. The first hour is a masterclass in deception. You wake up in what seems like an ordinary morning routine, only for everything you know to shatter into a terrifying, mind-bending reality. You quickly realize you're trapped aboard Talos 1, a massive space station infested with the Typhon, an alien species that can take the form of anything. Coffee cups, chairs, even other crew members. This paranoia-inducing gameplay instantly hooks you, as you never know if the next item you interact with is actually a deadly enemy waiting to pounce. The game encourages you to experiment with weapons, gadgets, and neuromods, enhancements that alter your abilities in ways that feel limitless. Do you take the stealthy approach, hacking security systems and sneaking past enemies? Or do you infuse yourself with alien DNA, gaining powers that let you hurl objects telekinetically or transform into a mimic yourself? The eerie silence of space, the deep mystery of the station's downfall, and the sheer number of ways you can approach every situation make Prey one of the most addicting sci-fi thrillers you'll ever play. Once you start uncovering the station's secrets, you'll be too hooked to stop.
You won't survive without using them to install new aptitudes. I've already updated your transcript with the list you requested. Take a look.
From the moment you step into the eerie, desolate village in Resident Evil 4 Remake, you know you're in for an intense, heart-pounding ride. The first hour throws you straight into the deep end, as Leon Kennedy, tasked with rescuing the president's daughter, finds himself surrounded by a village of deranged, parasite-infected locals. Unlike traditional zombies, these enemies are smart, aggressive, and relentless, forcing you to think fast, manage your ammo carefully, and use the environment to survive. The game's revamped, over-the-shoulder shooting mechanics feel smooth and precise, making every encounter feel like a strategic battle for survival. The tension never lets up, whether you're barricading yourself inside a house as enemies break through windows, dodging chainsaw-wielding maniacs, or trying to outmaneuver the terrifying regenerators. The first hour alone grips you with high-stakes action, eerie atmosphere, and brutal combat. And once you experience that perfect balance of survival horror and adrenaline-fueled moments, you won't want to stop. It's a game that constantly keeps you on edge, making you question if you're truly prepared for what's around the next corner.
See you climb this.
Sifu isn't just a game. It's a brutal test of skill, patience, and mastery that will have you completely hooked within minutes. The first hour introduces you to its tight, weighty martial arts combat system where every strike, dodge, and counter matters. You play as a young martial artist on a quest for revenge, but the game throws in a genius twist. Every time you die, you age, gaining more power but losing some agility. The fluid combat feels like a perfectly choreographed action movie, letting you unleash devastating combos, use the environment to your advantage, and take down enemies with incredible style. But it's also incredibly challenging. One wrong move and you're punished, forcing you to learn, adapt, and improve with every encounter. The environments are just as mesmerizing as the combat, with each location oozing cinematic atmosphere from neon-lit nightclubs to crumbling temples. The learning curve is steep, but once you get the hang of dodging, parrying, and striking at the perfect moment, Sifu becomes one of the most satisfying experiences you'll ever play. The feeling of landing a perfectly timed counter, sweeping an enemy's legs, and taking down an entire room full of foes is unmatched, and once you start, you won't want to stop.
You're sure about that? Kung Fu?
Silent Hill 2. Remake doesn't rely on jump scares. It burrows deep into your mind, wrapping you in an atmosphere of psychological horror that grips you from the very first step into the fog. You play as James Sunderland, drawn to the mysterious town of Silent Hill after receiving a letter from his supposedly dead wife. From the start, the game builds an overwhelming sense of dread. Thick fog obscures your vision, unsettling noises echo through the empty streets, and shadowy figures stalk you from the darkness. The first hour drips with tension as you slowly uncover disturbing clues, navigate abandoned buildings, and encounter grotesque, nightmarish creatures. The remake enhances everything that made the original legendary: stunningly detailed environments, improved controls, and haunting sound design that gets under your skin. The horror here isn't just about what you see, it's about what you feel. The game constantly plays with your expectations, making you question what's real and what's a manifestation of James's guilt. Silent Hill 2 is more than just a survival horror game. It's a deep, psychological experience that sticks with you long after you've stopped playing. And once you step into the fog, there's no turning back. Star Wars Jedi. Survivor wastes no time in making you feel like a true Jedi. The game throws you into fast-paced action right from the beginning, as Cal Kestis, now more powerful and battle-hardened, finds himself hunted by the Empire once again. The opening hour is packed with high-stakes lightsaber combat, cinematic platforming, and tense encounters that push your skills to the limit. You'll quickly master force abilities, parrying mechanics, and fluid acrobatics, making every fight feel incredibly satisfying. But it's not just about combat. Exploration is just as rewarding, with sprawling planets full of hidden secrets, puzzles, and lore that pull you deeper into the Star Wars universe. The seamless blend of epic storytelling, breathtaking environments, and deep RPG mechanics ensures you won't want to put the controller down. Whether you're facing off against a terrifying Inquisitor, navigating a perilous cliffside, or using the Force to manipulate the environment, Jedi, Survivor makes you feel like a true warrior of the light side, and that feeling is impossible to walk away from. Dishonored 2 immediately immerses you in a world of betrayal, intrigue, and supernatural assassinations. The game opens with an intense coup where Empress Emily Kaldwin is overthrown, forcing you to choose between playing as Emily or her father, Corvo Attano. The first hour is a thrilling rush as you escape the city of Dunwall, setting up the revenge-fueled journey ahead. What makes this game impossible to put down is its freedom of choice. Do you take a stealthy, non-lethal approach, or do you embrace the chaos and eliminate every enemy in your way? The introduction quickly gets you accustomed to the game's deep mechanics, from blinking across rooftops to possessing enemies, freezing time, and executing brutal takedowns. The level design is ingenious, encouraging creative problem solving, and the world feels alive with hidden lore and environmental storytelling. Dishonored 2 gives you an incredible sense of power and control, making it nearly impossible to stop once you start experimenting with its mind-blowing mechanics. One mission leads to another, and before you know it, you're obsessed with the endless ways you can manipulate the world.
Shit!
Smell the stench of the void. There's something cooking.
From the very first scene, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt pulls you into its world with its incredible storytelling and vast immersive landscapes. You step into the boots of Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter navigating a war-torn world in search of his adopted daughter Ciri. The first hour alone throws you into brutal combat, introduces rich character interactions, and immerses you in breathtaking open-world exploration. Every dialogue choice matters, shaping your relationships and the fate of entire regions. The game's world feels alive and unpredictable, with side quests that are often just as compelling as the main story. The dynamic weather, hauntingly beautiful landscapes, and the presence of mythical creatures make every step of your journey feel like a living, breathing fantasy epic. The depth of its RPG mechanics, crafting, alchemy, and swordplay ensures that once you start building Geralt's skills, you'll be hooked. Whether it's slaying a terrifying griffin, engaging in deep political intrigue, or simply playing a round of Gwent, The Witcher 3 guarantees you'll lose yourself in its world for hours on end. And once you start, stopping is nearly impossible. Vampyr sinks its fangs into you within the first hour, blending atmospheric storytelling with deep moral choices. You play as Dr. Jonathan Reed, a renowned physician who wakes up as a vampire in a disease-ridden post-war London. The opening hour is tense, eerie, and emotionally gripping as you struggle with your newfound thirst for blood while trying to uphold your Hippocratic oath. The game presents you with difficult decisions from the very start. Feed on innocent civilians for strength, or resist temptation and find another way to survive. The combat is brutal and strategic, allowing you to unleash supernatural vampiric abilities, but the true hook of Vampyr is its narrative depth. The more you interact with the world, the more you learn about its deeply interconnected characters, and every choice you make shapes the city and its fate. The gothic atmosphere, combined with haunting music and shadowy streets, makes it impossible to stop playing. Once you start weighing the cost of your immortality and its effect on those around you, you'll be completely engrossed in this dark, emotional tale. Rise of the Tomb Raider grabs you by the throat from the very first scene. The game opens with Lara Croft scaling an icy cliff in a brutal snowstorm, setting the tone for an action-packed cinematic adventure. The first hour is filled with heart-stopping moments, avalanches, collapsing ruins, and hostile forces hunting Lara as she searches for the lost city of Kitej. The game wastes no time introducing its deep mechanics: fluid traversal, tense stealth segments, intense firefights, and rewarding exploration. You'll immediately start scavenging for resources, crafting arrows, and learning the brutal, close-quarters combat system that lets you take down enemies with a mix of stealth and aggression. But what makes Rise of the Tomb Raider so addicting is its sense of discovery. Ancient tombs, intricate puzzles, and hidden secrets are scattered throughout the world, begging you to explore. The combination of breathtaking landscapes, survival mechanics, and a gripping narrative about Lara's transformation into a true adventurer makes it impossible to put down. Once you start unraveling the mysteries hidden beneath the ice, you'll be hooked until the very end. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End grabs you with one of the most cinematic and exhilarating openings in gaming history. From the very first scene, you're thrown into a high-speed boat chase in the middle of a raging storm, setting the tone for the thrilling adventure ahead. The game then takes you through a perfectly paced introduction, reintroducing Nathan Drake's backstory, his relationships, and the emotional weight of his past. The first hour is filled with breathtaking platforming sequences, intense gunfights, and Uncharted's signature witty dialogue, making it impossible to put down. The controls are incredibly smooth, making every leap, climb, and gunfight feel fluid and responsive. But it's the emotional storytelling that truly hooks you, as Nathan is drawn back into the world of treasure hunting for one last high-stakes adventure. The stunning environments, ancient ruins, dense jungles, and lost pirate cities make exploration endlessly rewarding. Whether you're dodging bullets, solving ancient puzzles, or simply enjoying the witty banter between Nathan and Sully, Uncharted 4 delivers non-stop action and heart, making it impossible to play just a little at a time.
Not yet. We're running out of road, kid.
I know.
Nate. Nate!
Here, take the wheel.
What? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Yeah, probably. Oh, crap! Coming through!
And there you have it, 20 single-player games that will have you obsessed after just 1 hour. Which ones have you played? And which ones should we add to the next list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content. See you next time.